So today we're going to begin a wraparound series where we prep for the PSSA. We've done all these lessons before, so you should know how to do most of the material we're going to be going over. It's just going to be kind of a refresher and some practice. If you have difficulty with anything after the video and your wraparound teacher isn't able to help you at all, please come see me. Okay, we need to make sure everybody's okay on all of this before we take that PSSA in April. How these videos are basically going to work is I'm going to work through the first problem step by step that's on your worksheet that you have in front of you. After we go through the first problem, your WRAP teacher is going to pause the video and allow you to work on problem number 2 on your own. Then they will start the video back up. I will go through problem 2 so you can check your work. After I'm done going through problem 2, your teacher will pause the video again and allow you to complete the rest of the problems on the worksheet. After the majority of the class has completed the worksheet, or it's the end of the period, your teacher will restart the video and I'll go over the answers to all the problems for you. So it should be pretty easy to follow. Again, we're going to go over the first one together. The second one you're going to try on your own. We'll regroup after that and then you'll do the rest of the problems. So today's video is going to be all about functions and relations. Remember that functions and relations contain your domain and your range. Your domain is just a list of your x values and the range is just a list of your y values. So when it's asking you to find the domain and range of something, it's basically just asking you to make a list. The second part of the question then says, is it a function or a relation? Remember that all of these are relations. All of these are relations. You get to have the title of function if none of the x values repeat. If no x values repeat, you put function. If you have an x value that repeats, you put relation. And we don't care about the y value or the range at all. Okay, the range can have as many repeating numbers as it wants. We are only interested in what is happening in the domain or our x values. So let's get started with the first problem. With the first problem, you'll see that we have 4 ordered pairs. Remember that the first one is always x, and the second number is y. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to label these x and y. There's absolutely nothing wrong with going through and labeling your ordered pairs x and y. I actually recommend it to make sure that you keep everything straight. Now we're just going to make 2 lists for our domain and our range. Remember that each one of them has to have those squiggly lines in the front. And remember, you're not being graded on your squiggly lines. You just need to have them there. It's part of the set notation. And you can see mine don't even look that great today when I'm drawing them with my fingers. So I'm going to make a list of my domain. We prefer them to be in order from least to greatest, but that's not a big issue. Okay, so putting them in order from least to greatest would be -2, -1, 0, and 1, and another squiggly line to end. Our range is a list of our y values, also in order from least to greatest, also starting with a squiggly line, and that one looks really bad. So we'll start with -9, next would come 2, then 4, then 5, and a squiggly line to end. Now I need to determine if this is a function or a relation. Remember, we are only interested in looking in the domain. None of the numbers in my domain repeat. So therefore, I'm going to call this a function. It is a function because I have no repeats in the domain. And that's all we're looking at for the rest of these problems. So now your teacher is going to pause the video, let you try number 2. In number 2, they're in a chart. I just hid the ordered pairs a little different, but it's the same process. And then we'll come back and go over number 2 together. All right, now that you've completed number 2, let's look at it together. You'll notice that my chart didn't show up, but it's the same as yours. I just don't have the lines breaking it up. So I'm going to start with my domain again, which is a list of my x values. So my domain is going to be 4, negative 4, negative 3, 2, 4, and 4. My range is going to be negative 1, 0, 0, 0. And those are commas. So now that I'm looking at my domain and range, I'm looking just at the domain. I want to know if this is a function or not. This is not going to be a function because of those double 4s. So this is going to be listed as a relation. It is a relation because the 4 repeats. And that's it for that problem. Now your teacher's going to pause the video. You're going to try problems 3 through 8, I believe, and then we'll come back and go over the answers to all of those. Now that you've completed all the problems, I didn't want to draw a line there. Let's go over what all the answers are going to be. In problem number 3, your domain is going to be 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, and your range is going to be, where is it? 2, 1, 0, 4, 3, and you'll notice I didn't put those in order from least to greatest. It is going to be a relation because those 3's repeat. So it's a relation, 3 repeats. For number 4, we had a table again. Our domain is going to be negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, and 2. And our range is going to be negative 3, negative 3, negative 3, negative 3, negative 3. This is a function. Nothing in our domain repeats. I'm just going to abbreviate it. So here in problem 5, we're actually looking at a graph. And you're just going to pull your ordered pairs off of the graph. So I'm going to start and make the list of the ordered pairs, and then we'll find the domain and range. So the ordered pairs in this case are going to be negative 1, 2. You're going to have the ordered pair 1, 2, 1, 3, and looks like the last one's 3, 4. So my domain is going to be negative 1, 1, 1, and 3. And my range is going to be 2, 2, 3, and 4. This is going to be a relation because those 1's repeat. Oh, I need to switch back to my pen. Relation. Number 6, same sort of thing. The ordered pairs are listed for you, so I'm not going to list them out again. I'm just going to go with my domain and my range. My domain in number 6 is going to be negative 2, 1, 3, 4, and 2. And my range is going to be 0, 1, 1, 2, and 4. This is a function. I don't have anything that repeats. Looking at number 7, we have the domain and range. Your domain is going to be 62, 73, 81, 82, and 82. And your range is going to be 604, 1086, 1199, 1102, and 1208. This is going to be a relation because there's 82 repeats. So relation, 82 repeats. I know I asked for it in complete sentences. You would just say something along the lines of, this set of numbers would be a relation because the 82 repeats in the domain. Okay, pretty straightforward. Last problem, if I can find it. Same sort of thing, we're going to identify our domain and our range. Our domain is going to be 25, 50, 75, 100, and 125. And our range is going to be the 595, the 795, the 995, the 1195, and the 1395. This is going to be a function because nothing in the domain repeats. And that's it. If you have any questions on functions and relations, please make sure that you come over and see me.